inside. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them. To see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us.
city where the heat is on all night on the beach till the break of dawn.
Welcome to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami.
Bouncing in the club where the heat is on all night on the beach till the break of dawn. I'm going to Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Miami. South Beach, bring the heat. Can y'all feel that? Can y'all feel that? Check it out.
It's always the most difficult question to answer is who you are. And that was for a long time a question I tried to answer. Who is Sasha Riess? Is that only my name? Or it's something more behind that story of who really I am? But if I look a little deeper behind the name, would be a hidden little boy, sad, alone, abandoned, and trying to find his place under the sky in this world. And oftentimes the best place to land would be in the arms of the dog. Safe, quiet, place of acceptance, not judgmental, and peaceful. And everything starts from there. Who am I? Who is Sasha Riess? So it's a journey of 30 years trying to answer that question. But everything started to unfold one day when I actually realized that freedom of one lays between the boundaries of his destiny. And thank you very much. Good morning. Good evening. One more beautiful evening in this journey that just actually slowly getting up. Thank you so much for the wonderful comments, and thank you so much for such a support I received from all of you. Please help me share, like, comment, and share your opinion, your thoughts as we go through this beautiful journey of our Facebook Live session named Grooming with a Positive Mental Attitude. I focused this and today topic name is You Can Change Your World. You can change your world. So we can change our world. And that is the only way we can change the world around us. We can actually, living in this bubble of material world that surrounds us is something that's and then we feel like a part of that. We feel like a part of that, and that we contribute to every single interaction with the people, and then every single result that we have or someone else have. But somehow we take too much blame on what is going on around us, without seeing the possibility of how we can actually impact the world around us. But that will be only through the one world that we can change, only one world that we are entitled of, and that's our own world. Once we change within, due the laws that operates in this universe, entire world around us will have a different appearance. You see this challenging time that we live in, for someone is terrible, for some other one is a great, for a lot of us is challenges of a lot of levels, like health wise, economical wise, but also you have this dramatic shift and change in skyrocketing the wealth of the people. So it's not bad for everyone. It's not bad for everyone. What separates each and every one of us is what do we radiate and resonate outside. Why the groomers are so important, why I keep telling all and share all of this journey of mine with this positive mental attitude to do whatever you want. Groom your dogs with a positive mental attitude toward your dogs and toward the people owning those dogs. And the question why I started this this series that will actually keep going for a quite long time, so we have long to go, is because I saw a lot of my students and a lot of my friends, because now I'm 30 years in the industry. So I saw the people that I was in love with when I started this industry. And I met them when I was a child, and watching them struggling through the life now, all of those big stars that I really cherish, that were really inspiring my professional life, then I watch their life, actually their life, like, and I see how unfortunately unhappy, miserable, ill they are. They suffer all kind of problems in a relationship. I can distinguish myself from that group because all of those things were happening to me too. And then I was starting to think about, like, there must be something else we need to learn in order to make this happen, because I don't want to end up living this life, dying of these cancers, being so super extremely obese, having a heart issues, heart problems, having depression, anxiety, all kind of those things that I need to. If I need to learn to groom dogs so perfectly, and then I need to assign to all of this other drama that goes around, I don't want to. I don't want to know how to groom those dogs so perfectly. That was also don't only look at one perception, one picture in an overall success of the people you admire. Look what that kind of success brings into their life. Look at the families. Look at the relationships. Look at the happiness and expression. Look at entire picture. And then slowly, when I dig deeper, as if you didn't catch the first show, like, see the one that we started, episode number 1, like an intro lecture, where I shared like how this evolved in my life and why I started to think about, like, that I sacrificed so much in my life to get to the point to learn how to groom dogs, that I separated myself from entire world in order to focus my attention to the dogs. But slowly, as I was detaching from the dogs, detaching from the grooming, I needed to apply another skills for myself to survive, to become a father that inspires his children, to become a partner that lives a harmonious life with, no matter partnership on which level, is that emotional, is that business, whatever level we are kind of growing into, relationship is something that we need to really work on. And then at some stage you understand, like, no one loves me, everyone is against me, everyone is kind of abusing me. No matter where I go, I'm abused, I'm used. Like, no, the people are here just to take an advantage of me, the clients, the partners, the kids, everyone is just on top of me. What have I done wrong to deserve this? Nothing. I just don't know the rules of the game, turn out to be. As I was focusing entire my life, how to hold scissors, how the poodle looks like, how the English cocker, what's the difference in between Kerry Blue Perfect Trim and how to groom, is this a good, how you call those, like a soft sweetened coated terrier? Is this a proper head? Is this a good angulation? So I was focusing my attention on that portion of the craft, completely forgetting about my other 75% of my life, even more like 85% of my life. And that slowly, as I become more successful here, I groom dogs nicely, one show, another show, shows. Something goes high, my career raises, the people around me clapping me. Oh my God, I want to know how to groom here. I want to know how to groom like you. I want to do this. I want to do that. Please teach me. Please do this. Please do that. And then I keep doing more and digging more my own grave by doing everything on my craft side of the life, denying that all other portion of my existence exist out there. In the very important question I saw as my students are growing up next to me, now I see them, being so excited when they enroll to school, and then they get out from the school, and then they start their own businesses, and then they start their own careers. Then slowly, somehow, their relationships are suffering because they're too much. We need to survive, we need to pay the bills, we need to raise kids. Then how the ladies get into the pregnancy by becoming a mothers, yet raising their career and growing into the business without hurting any of those relationships. So that I started to witness, questioning myself, oh my God, like, what am I doing? But that is why they came to me, like, teach me how to groom. That's okay, but there is another story of the picture next to the grooming that will make you happy and successful if you understand what you need. The craft and the grooming is only one portion of your life. So the question I want you to ask yourself today and in a week to come, I hope that you was watching last show when we was talking about the most important living person on the earth today. That was actually, and that you wrote the letters to your parents, no matter are they with us or not, and then you experienced that challenge that it's not so easy writing of parents, no matter which kind of relationship you have with them, you are called to, go over that inner expression of inner experience of how do you feel regarding your parents, and give them the gratitude for the life we have. And now we have a life, and there is no more excuse for us. Nothing. I was abused as a child. I was sexually, emotionally abused, but I'm alive at 48 years, and it's not an excuse anymore. I work through it somehow because I don't want to be a victim forever. Because if that happens in my life, that's thanks to the dog and all of dogs and all of this conscious development and understanding of how the life operates, I'm slowly taking my kids out from that burden of being victim of everyone, because they couldn't grow next to victims into anything else than the victims themselves, because that's how the kids grow. The kids grow by seeing what they are surrounded with. And if I want to impact my kids' life now, it's not enough for me to talk to them and to talk how the life is and this and that, because my father was talking to me too, my mother was talking to me too. Yet what they was telling to me and what they were doing were completely two different worlds. And I didn't go after what they were telling to me. I was going about, but if it's so easy, why you are not incorporating that in your life? And they would say one and then do the other. Of course, they try their best to impact our lives, me and my sister, but they kind of always had that, raised in that environment. I do understand now from this perception where that comes from, but it's not mine to take their burden and their responsibilities for their understanding of the life. And now, raising a consciousness around that, I'm able to form my life the way I want, but in order to get there, the first thing I need to know is what is my world? What is my world? So when I create a my world inward and inside myself, I'm gonna be able to mirror it outside myself because get one to know one. Oh, he's abusing me. He's manipulative towards me. Of course, takes one to know one. How would I know that someone is manipulative towards me if I'm on my own not manipulative? And then you would say, but I'm not manipulative towards no one. I'm so good friend. I'm turning to everyone. I'm giving to everyone. And that look at how the life is giving back to me. But don't forget, doesn't count how do you or how do we act towards the other persons. That's just a step number 2. Don't forget that there is the most important living person in this world before anyone else here is. That's you or in me. So if I'm treating myself, am I manipulating myself? Am I betraying myself? Am I misusing and abusing myself and my life by myself, wanting to be loved by you, by my prayer, by my parents? So the father tells me, oh my God, I was wrong. You are so clever. You are nice. You are great. You can do it. And I'm blessing your path. So am I manipulative towards this, what I want myself to be when the people observe me? Isn't that a manipulation of I-ness? Our life is always a reflection of our action. So people would call it karma. And oh, I can't change my life. It's karma. I don't know where this comes from. Oh, I must be in my last life, I was maybe a soldier or some witch. I was killing people. So now it's my time to suffer. And that's all kind of excuse for not to enjoy this life in fullness. So the living the life based on the rules, since it's easy to explain, like through the soccer. I don't know how much you know about the soccer games, but there is a 2 teams, and then you hit the ball in goal. You need to hit the ball in the goal, and you need to know the rules. But there is one important rule that if you are not aware of, and whatever you're gonna do, gonna hurt you. And that's there is the game. The entire game is 90 minutes, and it's divided in 2 halves, so 45 each. But what's important is that after the first polovreme, kako se to kaže? Half? Ne čujem. After the first half time, the goals are switched. So if I play a soccer game and I don't know for that rule, the other half of the game, I'm going to throw the ball in my own goal, hitting the autogoals. That's how important it is to know the rules of life as well. So if we are not aware of these things, we're going to just keep going through the life, giving autogoals to ourselves. And what I always ask, how that connects to the groomers, because the grooming and any other pet care industry is very, very important, because can lead to very much and very big disappointment as we go deeper in a life. Why? It's because oftentimes the profession of the pet care related, whatever, let's call just the groomer, let's focus on the groomers. The groomer, the professional groomer industry, or the craft, or the mastery of the work, we picked it up because we love animals. But we love animals because of something that happened to us, that directed us towards the animals. If that something wouldn't happen to us, what would be the goal of our life? What would be our destiny? So maybe why it's important to start doing these things that I'm going to give you again a little task that again guided me to this and guided me to just open the consciousness on this, and then the path will, the path will show up. I can tell you what path to go. I see the why I'm talking about this is to important to understand that doesn't mind how you hold your scissors, what do you know about coat types, what do you know about shampoos, what do you know about angulation and then anatomy and standard. That will come along as more discipline you be in a learning, that will come along, but it's not expected from you to learn on the same topic and over and think that you can reinvent the wheel and feel better and more happier if you know much more about the dog anatomy. You can learn it on a basic level that you need in order to apply everything you want to apply. If you go deeper and deeper, there is always deeper and deeper, and more we learn about something, more we see how much is unknown. So we can end up, having a PhD in dog grooming, dog anatomy. How that's going to help me become a better groomer? It won't, because I'm not doing that to become a better groomer, because I think if I become a better groomer, I'm going to be happier. But that just doesn't happen like that. You can try, and then you can maybe remember that there were, oh my God, he was speaking about this, so maybe I should revert and start seeing those videos. So start to question the thing. If you was not directed to the dogs for no matter what reason, what would be your childhood dream? What would you do if you wouldn't become an introvert? Because introvert is not born like introvert. My mom is an introvert, my dad is yeah, because they were introvert. You were raised in introvert environment that made you introvert. Oh, my father was absent, he was never present at home, and then I never learned how the life is to be operate. Okay, now you know that, so now we need to see what we are missing from that structure, and how can I uh, give the credit to my father the way he was. How can I see his not presence in my life as my benefit? For example, Buddha was not present in the life of his son, because Buddha was a prince, and then he got his son. He was like a little child, like a baby, and then one night he said, I need to go. I need to go. There is a deeper calling for me, and I need to go. And he left, and he came back, 10 years later, and then his son was waiting for him, and then son and his wife became his first disciples on the teaching that he came home with after he get enlightened under the tree. So, for example, the story of my father, again, I'm going to come back to that, because sharing this personal and emotional experience can also shift and inspire you to look at your story beyond that accusation, or oh my God, he was never here, or he was never present, or if he would just be next to me, I would grow in completely different person, or he didn't know how to share his love, and then whatever. That's all excuse, a very, very legitimate one, but the question is, will till when? So, for example, my grandmother, his mom, uh, she left widow. She was his he. So my father's father was killed when he was 18, and my grandma, I think she was 16 or 17 when my father was born. So then what happened is that my father was raised by his grandparents of my grandfather's parents, okay, and my grandma, so his mom, went in the same village, and then went to be, you know, married the another guy, and then he with him she had like 5 or 6 kids in the same village. But my father was up on the hill with his grandparents, where his mother was downhill with his new family, raising it, and coming up and bringing him here and there some socks or whatever. So that story very bizarre if from the point of my father, when he said I didn't have a mother, my father was dead, killed, and then he moved away. uh, and my father was left on his own, and when he was like 16 he moved away from that village, came to big city, started his life, met my mother, and here I am talking to you today, and my son and my daughter, and who knows what's going to happen from that, moving on. But why is this story important? Because his mother left home, and then he was blaming his mother, my grandmother, for doing that for a long time. I don't know how he's now, but I think he was never able to hear her story. Not that she shared. I heard her part of the story that she never talked about, how modest actually she was. I told her story from her relative, from the father's side. What happened to be the truth is that my grandparents' family didn't have money, and they actually didn't have almost nothing to eat, because the time when was that happening, the Second World War already started. We are talking 1943. So they didn't have what to eat. So in order to save her son, my grandmother left. So the food that they put on a table shouldn't be split on 7 portions, but on 6. So actually, even if it will be the 7th portion, her little food will go to my father. And now, if you turn into the emotional entanglement, how that can ruin emotional life of the kid, it's a lot, and a big portion of that can go into that emotional development that doesn't need to be underestimated. But on the other side, what would happen if my father wouldn't survive? If he would die, like a lot of children that time were dying from hunger because the families were big ones, and that was a custom that the kids there eat after the, so first the older, as it's kind of like cruel, but it was cruel kind of way watching it from this perspective. Kids, the babies get, then the olders get, then the kids get. They all share, so that when the older people take, they wouldn't take to fill them up, they would just take first, because that's how the life operates. First the oldest, and then as you go down, you share what's left. That is why we are having such an amazing and impactful relationship with the dogs, because that structure of the family entanglement and relationship does happen there too. So they said, like, she left home, and by doing that helped him survive. Maybe, you will never know, if she would be staying home, I wouldn't be talking to you tonight. So try to penetrate when you are thinking about your life, and how life is miserable towards us, and how we deserve better than we have it. Think about that. That what more blessing you would love to have by having this life and opportunity to change it wherever you choose to do so. But then, since you are changing it, and try to figure it out, like what's the next step and where to move next. Try to see, are you at the right place? See deeper, see beyond the dogs, penetrate the dogs, and then be brave enough to let yourself remember your childhood dreams before dogs. That also can turn into a dog business, but also maybe the dog relationship and the dog can cover the real cause of our life, our real destiny, what we are born to do. Because until we do not in tune with the definiteness of purpose of our life, there is no motion towards happiness. I-ness, me, is here to do something. And then the something is, for example, to climb the mountain, Mount Everest. But when you look at the mountain, it's so big and so humongous, and all the people die when they go there, and it just doesn't happen easily. How can I do? But then you finally buy the tickets, you get there, you take all you need, and you start climbing. But what everyone will tell you of those people around you is just don't climb to the top, because you might end up losing your life. Climb to the next step. Step, 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 step. But without knowing that you are climbing the Mount Everest, without definiteness of purpose, all the steps towards that doesn't make any sense. Why do we feel lost? Why do we feel unhappy, trapped? Because we didn't in tune yet with definiteness of purpose of our life. Definiteness of purpose of our life is always present when you are able to do everything that you just reached that definiteness of purpose, to do an extra mile. What does it mean to do extra mile? Extra mile mean do more that you are paid for. Do more that you are paid for, and do it with love, respect, dignity, and modesty. Don't do it and then talk and bitch on the social media how you undercharge and you don't know how to charge, how expensive to be and how much time you spend and how did this, how did that. That's not going extra mile. And if you're not ready to move extra mile in your profession, you are not at the right place, because the definiteness of purpose is achieved regardless money on that path. If we are going towards our destiny, the money comes as a result of the blessing and abundance that the life will shower on us because you are on a good path. And if you are on a good path, you need to have more so you can do more. But how to do more is always do more than you are paid for. Don't do it just kind of like, you can't do it fakely. You can't fake that. Because very soon, if you fake it like, I need to give, and as more as I give, more the God will give me back, and I need to give to the poor, and I need everyone that asks me for help, I'll just give. Like, you just that again, like what comes around, what's how you call that? Comes around, goes around, Yel Taco, or goes around, comes around. Which one?
What comes around goes around.
What comes around goes around. That's how you tell it? Yeah, what we give up, it comes back. So whatever we live now, it's already done. We already paid the price to live this life here and now, the way it is. How tomorrow will be depends on what we're going to do today, which kind of decisions we're going to do today. And will I be able finally to tune my attention from world that's falling apart. Whenever you look at whatever you turn whatever channel you want, you open whatever news you open, wherever you want to go, everything is falling apart. And if you want to be a part of that, that's what's going to happen to us. We're going to fall apart. The only way to survive this, if that's the way the destiny wants us to, and there is something more behind this door after these challenging times were on, then we need to come stronger back than we were before all of this. And this is a great time. It's not to look what's going on outside. It's turn within. Meet the world within. Stay with yourself, because we can't approach, social distance, mask, do this, protect elderly, protect yourself, don't spread the virus, do this, do that. Finally, time to meet myself. It's a blessing on its own. But also on the other side, I lost mom in this time. But then again, I need to come back because she inspired all of this that I'm talking about now, because I don't want to forget to put all of this out because I had planned this forever. No one went away before the time was to go. And then when the time comes, it can be a car accident, it can be a COVID, it can be a heart attack, nothing. No one has a destiny of the other in his hands. We are kind of always, I was afraid of that so long. And for a long time, I was very afraid of that, of dying and of, because that's, once you're a parent, then you are afraid that your kid's gonna die and not, okay, just, but that's inner feeling of any parent that I don't want anyone I love to die. But that's again focused too much on the selfish shyness. So I don't allow people to have their own destinies. I don't know what's the destiny of my kids. Neither I know what's the destiny of mine. But thinking that I can impact anyone's destiny by any chance and means, it's kind of irresponsible, because only destiny that I'm in charge of in what I'm gonna do until my time doesn't come. And I can inspire, I can be inspiring to the people, no matter on what level. And then I can also do my part by discovering myself and then finally put myself to use to this world. How can I understand where to go, what my definiteness of purpose is? I would ask always myself, like, why I'm so scared of dying, and why do I face so much anxiety when that's questioned? And you know why we do that? Because we don't know when it's going to happen. And you know why we get anxious? Because we don't know what's going to happen. Is because we are sure not doing what we are here to do, and we are afraid that we're going to go from here by not accomplishing nothing. Because I always have tomorrow. Oh, I'm going to do this when I buy a new home. Oh, I'm going to do this when I move to another city. Oh, I'm going to do this when I'm going to marry. Oh, just to make $1 million, then I'm going to do that. And suddenly the life ends. And then the most terrible realization of the life end would be disappointment of not fulfilling the definiteness of purpose. That is why we are so afraid of dying. And even if someone would come and I get to die today, and he comes back to me and he says, okay, I'll give you 10 years more. What you gonna do? I said, that's a fair question. I'm gonna do what I was trying 10 years ago to do, waiting for the better time to come. And the only thing that we have on this planet is a free will to do whatever we want. The God said, like, this is Eden, and you can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can eat whatever you want. Just don't eat yet the apple. The apple was actually meant to, to Adam and Eve. The story said, the God said, I would give them the apple to eat, but I gave them a chance to choose. And then not that Adam took a apple, but then I kind of committed a sin. But just look at the metaphor of this. Regardless if it happened or didn't happen or not, but then committing a sin and then blaming other. Oh, it's not me. She told me, and then she say, oh, it's not me. Snake told me, because they were not responsible enough to take over the responsibility for their actions. But the God said, just if you would give it a time, maybe one day or 10,000 years, I don't want to prevent you of eating nothing. You're just supposed to wait the right moment. And the right moment, why is to be waited the right moment? Because we never know what's the seed, or how much time the seed that we planted need to bloom. Carrots, some other things need, like, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Something needs a couple of months. The baby needs 9 months. Some other babies needs 2 months. Some other babies needs almost 11, 12 months. You never know how long the seed should grow into beautiful beautiful, abundant, um, bloom of new life, no matter on which level. So, and what makes man be man? What the people has a common that no other creature on this planet has, and that's a mind to think. Everything else can be found in the pig or the horse. Thinking, accurate thinking, preventing myself, protecting myself from hearing things that can blow my mind or take me away and then put me on the sea that I can blow myself all over the place thinking, oh, poor me, and how the life was cruel to me. But I'm cruel to myself first because I'm missing habit of accurate thinking. How the accurate thinking is to be developed? Through the self-discipline. No one can discipline us rather than ourselves. Self-discipline to read, to improve, to move on, to look at only things that serves our, but in order to do what we need to, in order to know what we need to do, we need to have a definiteness of purpose. So we know actually by reading this, I contribute to myself and the people I love. So I'll be able to go extra mile. And the only way to do that would be through accurate thinking. And accurate thinking can be developed. I can think accurately because I think, oh my God, here is this coming. The news said this, he said that, my colleague said that, my client said that. Everyone is having their story, their part of those, because everyone is thinking that we can change something here. Nothing can change until the only world that we can change changes. And that's only from indoor, from inside, from inner. And then, there is as like as on heaven, so on earth. And that's, of course, where is the heaven? Inside us. The kingdom of heaven is within. The kingdom of heaven is within. Within. And then if we turn to that world within, we can meet the king. The most important living person probably lives in a kingdom of its own within. And then when we find it within, it's not outside. It's not what someone thinks who I am. It's what I become by chasing my dreams, but not the dreams I'm dreaming because I become afraid of the people, but the dreams. Then I need to have a people that I surround myself with. I can do it myself, but I need to surround myself with the like-minded people. And everyone around me at this point is like-minded. And you will see as you go, as you shift, as your world shifts, the people will just disappear because they don't feel attracted to you anymore. Why? Because within changed. And then within change, then you will have completely different world outside yourself. Then the people you were spending a lot of time with will just vanish from your life. Not that you cut on everyone. You can't cut. You don't need to cut anyone. You don't need to stop talking to anyone. They're gonna stop talking to you once you shift. You know what I mean? Boundaries. Set the boundaries. Don't let the people hurt you. Don't let the people come close to you. Yeah, that is how we ended up here, setting the boundaries. Boundaries around our own heart. And then when we have those beautiful creatures, dogs, that we turn into, and then we shut for the entire world, then we think that, yeah, here I feel great, but then soon I go out, it's like little Cinderella with her little how you call those shoes. And when the magic the midnight comes, everything vanishes again in a poor me mood. I know. So I need to believe that actually that's happening. That's happening. I need to believe. I need to have a faith. We all do have a faith in something. Even if we say, oh, I don't think nothing, it's a fate of thinking that I don't think, that I don't believe. That's a fate in non-believing. But it's still a fate because drives my actions. I don't believe that this is a rule of the game, yet somehow every single results that I get in my life those results are coming as a result of me playing some game. And if I don't like the results of that game, why I don't learn something? Why I don't learn about the games to be played? That's something that we all need to kind of think about. So the faith, we need to have a faith in everything we do, and then we let the future brings. That is why we are kind of like, how you say, that is why we are afraid of a fate, to let it go, to let it be. Plant the seed and let the God do the rest. You can't have a, you can have a baby before 9 months. But how do we know that's exact knowledge that the baby needs 9 months to grow? Everything before that is a challenging time for the baby and for the mom. But what happens with our life that we are not aware of how long time we're gonna need to wait for to get something? But if you are on the right path, how do you know that you are on the right path? Because you are always striving for more. It doesn't matter how much the people pay you, you will go for more and more. You will always give more than you are paid for. Don't play stupid on that. Because the only first person, when you see abused and used by the people because you are giving so much, question, are you giving from the right source? Because the source of the river is forever. No matter how much sand you take off from the shore, there is always sand. No matter how much water you take out from the ocean, there is always ocean. No matter, I know the Danube starts from such a little potok, kako se kaže? Pond. It's not a pond, but it's something little, and then turns into the biggest European river. But only that source is always sourcing the big river. So when you are hooked to the source, you can give as much as you want, and as more as you give, more you will get. That's the only way to kind of go through the life. But if we feel used, then we are struggling because we know that we are not hooked up to the source. We feel that our inner child, our inner life feels that we are not hooked on the source. And then we try to cash on every single second because we don't know as much how long we're going to be able to source from here. But if you're hooked to the infinity, who cares? You can't take away from me as much as I can give. Bothered me for a long time. But I was always kind of thinking about how you turn the dog grooming into the broad brand, into the like a brand that kind of, I have my little world. It's not a big world, but it's my world. Maybe, I don't know, how many followers are here, like 10,000 people. Maybe 5 of you are watching live, or 50 or 500 or 5,000, no matter. It's my little world. And that's how it goes. I don't care that someone has 1 million followers or there is another world that has 1 billion people. I try to care about this little world that's mine, because it does represent who I am. And then let's see where we're gonna get next. And so everything should be done in a pleasing personality way, in positive mental attitude. That always start with a personal initiative. You don't need to, if you are hooked to in your world, if you know where you want to go and where is your to go, what's your definiteness of purpose, you wanna do everything with the enthusiasm and the personal initiative. So you want to go first. You are the leader of your own life. If you are the most important living person in your life, And if the kingdom of heaven is within, the only way to meet your world is to go within. And there you are the absolute champion. But then you can just, it can be just, I'm living. So that's why the dogs are so good example to learn from. We can learn from dogs more than we can teach them. There is no such a thing like how emotional bond we develop with our pets and how great they are in a connection with us. And they prove that separation from the family can be in favor of the future. You still need to have because that proves that actually dogs are on the other level of consciousness, questionable cognition, questionable mind, questionable uh, how you say power of choosing, a choice, free will. Let's say that way, free will, questionable. It's still the high science still debating on that. Is it or not? Is it instinct? Is it learned? Is it enforced? Pavlov experiment showed the answer to that question, that we kind of, oh, it was too cruel, or maybe it's not like that, my dogs love me and things like that, and it's okay, they love us the most. But then the question becomes what we can learn from them, how enthusiastic they are for to serve us, for what they are getting from us. I was a handler, and everyone that is in handling world know what does it mean when you need to get a dog from the family that's not professional, from professional dog world, and you come and you tell them, okay, I'm gonna take care about him for a couple of months, maybe a year, and then we're gonna take him back, and this, my baby won't go to you, he will not be good, he's so much connected to me. And then I say, okay, we can see if it doesn't go like that, then we can, work on that. If you want, we can always kind of work back and forth. But then, it's always best if you work with your dog, and then you meet your dog, you meet the dog that you're working with, you know the dog, you know how to get the best out from his performance. But in order to have a dog display that to you, and for you to learn about the dog, you need to live with the dog. So then always when you have a professional breeders, they kind of look for the professional handlers. But when you have this kind of one dog in a home that they want to run champion and for a couple of shows, it's very difficult to get that dog to live with you. And then very disappointment for that family would be if they would meet at the show, for example, like in a month. So you are showing close to us, can we come see our Bobby, how he'll gonna perform? And then they come to the show, and then they see this enormously great presentation of the dog, and then they come to meet the dog, and then the dog wags the tail, jumps there, but it's not an extra deal because the dog has a new owner. Why? Because that's the deal. I give shelter, I give food, I give social interaction, and in return, you give me your work. It was hunting, herding, guarding, whatever we ask from our dogs to done, and slowly that vanished. And today we have this so-called best friend, because why? The people doesn't have so good interaction in between the people, so someone need to be my best friend. And if I can't have another people becoming my best friends, it would be great someone else to take that position. And dog said, I'm here, I can do that, and I can replace your friends, and I can become your friend. Because in the nature there is no such a thing like a free lunch. Everything you take must be paid. So the dog knows if you feed him, if you provide him a shelter, and the social interaction, because that's a very important key point of the social entanglement, because the dogs are social animals, so that component is important as the shelter and as the food, no matter of, it's the same importance of all those three components. Whoever provides that is the boss. Whoever provides that is a boss. So, and that again, we're coming to on another very important topic that's also called for what we need to have in order to change our world, we need to have a controlled attention. So we need to control attention and don't let anyone, don't let our attention go. Just I'm going here and watching there and the news and the Facebook and this and it's difficult. But yeah, we need to develop the self-discipline too. Get off the there is a very important the very important I think I showed you that Csikszentmihalyi, the Hungarian philosophers, who said, like, if the people are bored, it means that they have more skills, that they put challenges in front of them. If they are frustrated, then it means that the challenges doesn't meet the skills they have. And those skills not necessarily always need to be the craft skills. They can be more like skills that we are actually talking about, the life skills, the learning about life challenging games and rules, how those games are performed. Of course, we can do nothing against, and we can do nothing ourselves. So once we know our definiteness of purpose, we need to and we will surround ourselves with like-minded people. And as we changed, the like-minded people will change too around us. I have a lot of friends, and I can kind of see the changes I went through the life, and some of the people went along with me. But if I would kind of remind myself and see myself interacting with the people I'm for example, there are a couple of friends that are still around for a long time. But if I observe their life as well, they fight for their life as well, and somehow we grow together. And on the scale turn that we are all kind of around. I don't want to say, like, I don't want to go big heading here. Maybe I'm not growing. Maybe I'm going, some other direction. But who cares? It's excited. It's very exciting. So I said some of the people are fighting for their lives, and they are improving, trying best. And then you will see, then they will come, oh my God, I just, I don't talk to this anymore. I just lost the contact with that one. And then you actually see how some of the people will just, naturally move out from the relationship. The other relationship that were like very tight, you will see disagreement starting, because the life you see, it's not the life you saw. So there's some time, kind of some relationship gonna, some gonna vanish on its own. The other hardest one gonna just break. And when something breaks, then it's meaning sometimes the people doesn't want to let you go because they want you in their mud. Don't mind that. But in order for you to know where to go and to fight for the future and to fight for your world, after you discover your world, everything else is a compromise. Don't compromise on that. Learning from defeat. You need to learn. We need to all learn from defeat. So sometime the defeat comes the biggest blessing, because it was just the wrong way. And if we need to fail, let's fail it fast as possible, so we don't spend too much time trying something that doesn't work. And soon you fail and feel failure. Don't stretch it. Oh no, it's just more. If I would, don't blame yourself. Don't blame it. Take responsibility. Absorb, analyze, observe, and move on. And oftentimes you will see that portions were missing, like self-discipline, learning, people you're surrounded with yourself. But again, where I failed that I didn't find my world. It's not my definiteness of purpose. And the people said that there was an amazing study showed that actually that's a psychosomatic discipline, talking about, and you have a lot of books on that topic. A very good one is what's his name? His name is Dr. Dahlke, Rupert Dahlke, the German scientist. He said, like, disease, je to bolest. Is there any other word? Illness is nicer word. So illness as a path. So sometime when the body gets defeated, it's always some deeper cause of why that's happening. You have scientific approved in that every single disease from flu till the cancer is psychosomatic. So let's take this, the most kind of challenging one, the cancer. So this book actually says, and a lot of other scientists agree on that, when it comes the cancer, the reason why the cancer is developed in some people and the other don't, regardless the health, lifestyle, and everything, it's because definiteness of purpose. Somehow deep unconsciousness that we don't have an access to. The only way that we can see unconsciousness is our results. What's happening outside myself? What's happening with my body? Where my mind goes? What my body does? That's accurate reflection of my inner world, regardless what I think. That's a proof. So they said, like, if you observe the metaphor of the cancer, so you see how the cancer operate. So there is cell starting to do again the growth. You know, they're growing the same way as the little, you know, the cell when the baby starts to begin. So you have a same process. So you have the growth of the cells, and the cells start to multiply. But then when the baby is starting to grow, when the new life in the body starts to grow, you have an information. Oh, you become a limb, you become a liver, you become this, you become that. And then the cells start to, you know, group themselves in the different forms, ways. And then they form finally the little body that turned to be a kid or man. And then that man can change the world. The same thing happens when the cancer is in place. Just there is no information. There is no such an information. Oh, this should be this and this should be that. But what actually metaphor of that is that we are actually trying to re-event ourselves. We are trying to redo it again. But then that actually, you know, kind of hits the physical level. Like deep in myself, I feel like I failed. I failed alive. Let me do it again. Let me try again. It's terrible to understand that we would always try to blame God, this, health, eating, habits, this. But over everything, we had the power to move away. My father moved away 16 years, when he was 16 years, and then blamed the mother why he did that. Instead of taking a big blessing of the life, that he was so strong and courageous in 16 years old to move on with his life. Later on, I did the same. I ran away from home into the dogs, into the grooming dogs. And slowly now I kind of get back to the life, remembering what I wanted to do. It's still going to be my work. It's still going to be very much what I want to do in my life. But I see myself heading towards something completely different. But finally, I see it as a growing light on the end of my life tunnel. And I know now this all I do with my businesses and with my schools and everything we do here in Chicago and everywhere else is a step, is my climbing the mountain of that I finally see happening there. And now all of these that I'm doing makes sense finally. And that's a creative vision. To envision something that you dreamed while you was a baby, and maybe before that. Of course, nothing of that can be done if we don't budget our time and money to spend what the resources we have the best possible way, and then to make $2 before we spend one. And then once we make another dollar, you spend one, and then you still have one, then you make two, then you spend half, and then you have 1.5. So that was my long learning curve of how to budget the money. Not that I'm great at that now, but I'm getting there, at least consciously aware of situation and the way of how to get through the idea. And of course, nothing can be done if there is no sound mental and physical health. Don't underestimate the power of body, because everything we need to do with our hands. We need to go with our, if we need to run away from somewhere, we need to do that with our legs. Strength of our mind and courage of our soul and of our heart. If you don't feel happy, don't sell yourself for one more day at the same place. Challenge yourself. If you're missing courage to move on, there is what you need to work on. Don't work on changing the things. Work on become more fearful. Work on become more courageous. Work on your roots. In tune with your parents, because there is the source of my life. There is the biggest power of my life. And start now. I was telling you last time, I was telling you, like, write a letter to your mother and write a letter to your father every single day. I don't know, did you do that? Did you try it and you say it's not important, or I can, or it was too emotional, too stressful? But don't, again, I'll encourage you to do it again. It doesn't need to take time. Maybe sometime can be like one sentence: I love you the way you are. And now this time we need to add a little more, like gratitude for the life and everything we have now. So in order for me to move on, I need to, and then the gratitude slowly can shift my thinking from outer side to, oh, see what I like, and try to have a 10 points every single day, 10 something that you are grateful for. If you are watching this movie, you ended up seeing this live for the first time. There is another one from last week that's named me the most important living person of today. And try to do that way. So you kind of meet yourself. And how to meet yourself? Through meeting your roots, who you are, and which environment you are born in. And try to find the connection of what the life is expecting from you to do. Maybe why we are suffering for so much in our home place is because we don't move away from it. We are waiting for something to happen. And then we end up having 50, 60 years at the same place, connecting deeply with the unhealthy relationship that we can also develop with our parents as well, and with our kids. A long time need for the kids is to move on by respecting the life, only life. That's enough. Thank you for the life. The rest is on me. So try to find a way to be grateful for a week. Next week, we're going to see each other again on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we're going to move on how to develop this positive mental attitude. Because one day, it will just appear. You can't have it. You will just kind of like, oh my God, you will kind of be nice to everyone. No one can hurt you, no matter how hard people try. You will kind of respond nicely. You wouldn't react. You'll start to be less and less reactive as more you go through this. And then suddenly you're going to meet a person, and you're suddenly going to re-meet your childhood dreams. Then you're going to transcend the love of the dogs. And are you at the place? Are you here because you are hiding from something? Are you next to the dogs because you are afraid of the world? Because you feel that there is some other calling that calls you that you don't allow to hear because it's so safe next to the dogs? But that's not how the world wants us to live. That's not the image of the God He wants us to fulfill on this earth. That's not path of salvation. It's a path of conformity, conformism, that the people are conforming because it's easier. It's easier. Can you imagine how the life, even how the life would be difficult, like a different, if we wouldn't have this inspiring metaphor of, even if the Jesus was, I'd take it like a metaphor life, but what an amazing story. What would be end of that story if he would conform on the trial? And he would just say, yeah, I joked. I joked. I'm sorry. He would be alive. But then the question becomes which kind of life that would be. And of course, if we, the faith can and teaches us that, there is no death, there is just, resurrection or reincarnation or whatever we want to go. But somehow, by also knowing that, we are somehow afraid of dying or afraid of death. And what we are actually afraid of is the life. So think about that. Think about that. If you're a professional groomer, think about that. Remember the moment when did you end? When did you get the idea to become a dog groomer? Get back to those days. Get back to those days and then transcend that day. Transcend that time. Go beyond that idea. And then try to meet yourself and then go within and see which kind of world was that. And then you have all of this kind of, oh, I can't go there because it's drama, it's this, that was hurtful. I was hurt. And until I didn't face that time, I was a victim of it. I was victim of the time and place and circumstances that doesn't exist anymore. Sometimes maybe you won't be able to do it yourself. You need someone, you need a teacher, you need a psychotherapist, you need a church, you need someone. That doesn't matter. The path on its own will reveal. But you need to and maybe it's completely great that there is a steps that you need to take in order to reach a next destination. Maybe this is all the steps. That don't forget that we assign just this temporarily until. And then because of the money, because of the great people, because of the great industry, nice shows, these winnings, that winnings, and everything, we forgot that it was temporarily. And suddenly that temporarily changed into the life event, and suddenly there is no more life. Think about that, and how you're going to get there. Just write the gratitudes. Couple of them, like every single day, write 10 things that you're grateful for, but real ones. Don't like first 2 3 just write them from the top of your mind, but then the rest of the 7, go dig deeper. Think about every single person that helped you get there, every single teacher of you that you had, your parents, their parents, parent of the parents, and parents of the parents of the parents of the parents. All of those people, destinies are very important. Thank the first one who was enough courageous to come here, to do the things that we are living on top of now. And then slowly, as you go, so one day would be okay, then second day okay, third, fourth, fifth day, you're gonna go beyond the expected. And then you watch this miracle happen, because that is what does it mean, self-discipline in the personal initiative towards apply faith to reach your definiteness of purpose. That might be a dog grooming, but I'm assuring you always the dog grooming is just a step towards something bigger. And it's okay, because there is so many young kids that are waiting for your place to be empty because you move on. Where do you move on? Who are the new kids on the block that you welcome to your place and you said, here you go, I'm going on? Where do you go on? You know where do you go on? To a childhood dreams. It's time to become who you dream you're going to become. And then you just forgot about that because the life took over. Get back to the world of yours because you can change it once you discover it. The kingdom of heaven is within. I love you the way you are. Thank you so much for being with me tonight or whenever you're going to watch this video. And see you next Monday at the same place, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much and bye.
Out our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways.